Hey everyone, Ash here. This is our first ever YouTube video this 2026, and in this video we're going to talk about the 7 things that I wish before becoming a freelancer, and I'm going to give you guys some of the lessons that I've really learned for the past 4 years or 5 years as a digital marketer and an overall freelancer here in the Philippines, right? And so, without further ado, let's go to our topic for today. And so, I want to first introduce myself, which is I am Ashley, and you can always call me Ash for short. So, I started freelancing at 18 using a repaired secondhand laptop while I was still attending online classes. So, that's the background that I have. And over the past 5 years, I've worked more than 50 projects for over 30 clients across content creation, video editing, social media, digital marketing, strategy, and business operations. So that is my field for the past 5 years. And so, just to give you a quick background about things that I did and I was able to do because of freelancing, here are the things that I'm really proud of and really grateful and blessed to share to you guys that because of freelancing, I was able to help my parents build a more stronger two-story house from this simple, humble house that we had 4 or 5 years ago. And then right now we have this two-story house that really helped us, become safer and comfortable during typhoons and, just live life better right now. And then at the same time, because of freelancing, I was able to experience right now, starting this year, going to trips with myself. I recently had a Singapore trip, solo travel, last March, or I think May. And then at the same time, this year, or I think last year as well, I was also able to treat my family with a Cebu trip here in the Philippines, going to different destinations and stuff like that. Moving forward with the stories and all of the things with that, let's go forward with the topic that we have today, which is the 7 things I wish I knew before I become a freelancer. So, starting off with lesson number 1 is that one thing that you have to understand is you don't really need the perfect resources or equipment to start. I started with this small room that we had during, I think, pandemic. This time, I had my first laptop that is a secondhand, where my parents did try to fix this or help me fix it. And at the same time, I just start from a very small, humble beginnings. And right now, this is my current workspace, and I'm really grateful for that. And so, my story is a living, breathing example that you don't really need heavy equipments, perfect equipments, high-end equipments in order for you to start, building your freelancing journey and overall, earning money online. And so that's the first lesson that I wish I knew before I started freelancing, because sometimes we tend to procrastinate things because, we want the better things first before we start. And so let's not do that and do the other way around, which is start first and then just invest more higher end equipment when we already have the budget to buy for it. All right. So that's the first lesson that I have. And so the second lesson is you don't really need to know your perfect niche immediately. So to give you a quick, story time about my career is I really started with graphic designing first when I started freelancing. So I started from graphic designing, and then next, have more time. Then I started learning more about video editing, then social media managing, website designing. And it's more like for the past 4 years, 5 years, my experience with my career has been more like skill stacking. So when I said about skill stacking, it's more on like you learn one specific skill, and then once you master that skill, once you know, let's say 80% to 90% of that specific skill, then you upskill to another different skill that somehow will create more like a ladder for you in your skills. And that's how I was able to upskill myself and generally like serve more services to my clients as well. And so you don't really need to know everything first when you're starting. And that's also one thing I want to share with you with this one. You don't need to have a perfect niche. You don't need to figure out your niche, because the only way for you to figure out your niche is for you to try first, like literally anything. And so you can start, let's say for example, you have a background when it comes to designing, so you can start doing graphic designing. Let's say if you have a background about sales, then you can start doing sales or giving services as a sales representative. And so learning, experiencing, and testing rather than overthinking. That's what I did when I started, my journey in freelancing. And then the third thing, moving to the third thing, is want to share to you, because one of the things that I learned in freelancing is it's not all about skills. It's not all about technical stuff. It's not all about the things that you can do to your clients, but communication is what separates high ticket freelancer and those freelancer that, let's just say, are only for task or data entry kind of things. And so what I want you to become is someone who is a high ticket freelancer, who can charge more, who can serve more, and have a high value skills where you can partner up with a client and then you guys can create a good business together. And so lesson number 3 is that communication is just as important as your technical skills. And so the main reason for that is if you can present, communicate, or explain your technical or your, let's just say, what you did, sometimes it's not as effective as you can if you know how to communicate properly to your client. And so I've had experiences over the first 2 years of my career where I still don't know how to communicate to my client. I tend to, not speak about my process, about how my mind works. And so it led to not intentional relationship with my client. Now that I have more experiences, I have more knowledge that communication is very important in our industry, I tend to over communicate a lot when it comes to my work. Like when it comes to the thought process, when they have a question, I tend to create a Loom video out of it. And as much as possible, I want to communicate, especially when there's a problem between me and my client. Because, we humans connect by communication. And so that's the third lesson that I want to share in our topic for today. And then the fourth lesson, or moving to the fourth lesson that we have, is this is something that I'm guilty with, because when I was starting, all I want was to accept all clients that I could possibly have. And so because of that, I tend to have bad relationship with client. I tend to have not good performance of my skills to my clients, and I tend to have a negative result overall because I tend to say yes to everything and not, say no, especially if my gut tells me to say no. And so this is something that I want you to learn as soon as possible, because once you learn how to say no, once you learn what's your priority, what's your principles and values in life, then you can create a good direction that has more intention when it comes to your career. And that is something that will become for your overall career journey as a whole. So learn to say no when you think that this client is not aligned with your principles or values as a freelancer. Okay. And then lesson number 5 is that always document your agreements, work, and payments. And so my client and I need to go back with the payments that he has to pay me for some work that I did with him, for him. And so because I have a spreadsheet of all of the invoices that I need to send him, all of the payments he need to pay me, then we were able to handle that quickly. But if I don't have that, I need to do a lot of work just for us to get back everything that we did for that specific project that we had. And so as much as possible, always document your agreement, work, and payment, especially when it comes to contract. Because I've also learned that even if we work remotely, you really need to have contracts when it comes to your client. You have to have invoices. You have to also document your work systems and processes, because it's an effective way long run, and it would be easier for you to, scale your freelancing business or your freelancing career in the next coming years. And so that is one thing as well. And then the sixth thing right here is that this is something that I want as well to give importance with, is that as a freelancer, as a remote worker or service provider that gives service to business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs, you have to stop thinking that you're a task taker only and start understanding the business. And so this is something that I just learned this year, or I think last year. Of myself as a freelancer, as someone who will just get tasked, a CEO will just delegate some tasks, redundant task, repeated task for me. But instead of becoming a passive service provider, I tend to change that to becoming an active service provider or freelancer, where I have this intention that I have to really understand as much as possible what does the business of my client is. And I have to have that intention to learn as much as possible so that I could give my service as best as I could. And so when you do that, your client, your, you know, boss, CEO, or the business partner that you have will even trust you more, that have higher value when it comes to making the business grow. And so because your boss, your employer trusts you more, then there's a higher chance that you can get promoted, you can increase your salary or your wage, and then more generally you will have more opportunities, because now you stop becoming a passive task taker and then turn into becoming an active service provider for them. And this is also a skill that I learned, which really also helped me scale and improve my salary or generally my revenue when it comes to my freelancing career or business. And so please remember that if you want to enter freelancing, if you want to become successful in freelancing in the service providing industry, you have to become someone who understands the business and care for their business as if it's your own business. And then, yeah, we're almost near. I think this is the last part of this lesson that we have right now, which is the last thing that I share to you guys, is that confidence comes from taking action and not waiting until you feel ready. Actually, this YouTube video shoot as my first content for this third quarter of 2026, and I just did a 30-minute miro board, set up my laptop, and now shooting this. Even if I feel scared, I don't know what will be the result of this video, like, I just take action, because I know for sure that once I do this repeatedly, then I will be more confident, my speaking skills will improve, my presentation will improve, maybe in the next coming months will only, feel that you're behind on something because you don't start anything at all. And so it's the other way around. You don't need to become confident when you started looking for clients, when you started to doing discovery calls, when it comes to doing job applications. You have to start taking action first, and then you will feel confident doing that because you do that thing repeatedly. And so you can start small, do it consistently, and then you will build your own confidence when it comes to your freelancing career or business. And so let's go over all of the topics that we were able to tackle, which is the 7 things that I wish I knew before I started freelancing. So 1, you don't need the perfect equipment or resources to start. 2nd is you don't need to know your perfect niche immediately. Third is communication is just as important as technical skills. Fourth is don't say yes to everything just because you're afraid of losing a client. And then fifth, always document your agreements, work, and payment. Sixth is stop thinking like a task taker and start understanding the business. And then seven is the confidence that you have comes from taking action and not waiting until you feel ready. Because you will never feel ready at all, based on my experience. So, yeah, these are the 7 things I wish I knew before I started freelancing, and I hope that this will help you a lot when it comes to your freelancing journey. Let me know your thoughts with this video that we have, if you have questions as well, and if you want to follow this journey of us creating educational contents for freelancers and really improving ourselves in our career development, personal development, this channel would become our own space to become the best versions of ourselves. And so feel free to subscribe in this YouTube channel. And yeah, I hope you learned and enjoy watching this video. And as always, this is Ash, and always reminding you that you don't need to be great to start. You just have to start to be great. See you in the next vid, guys. Bye-bye.